Hi, and welcome to The Knittervention, a place for those who want to knit fast, dye warm, and make beautiful things along the way. I am Erin White. I'm the face behind The Knittervention, and this is going to be the video version of episode 2 from my podcast, which is out on the podcast app and out on SoundCloud under The Knittervention. And the topic is survival tools for the fiber artist, or just survival tools in general, to help kind of get through this pandemic and to help with the feelings of isolation that you may be going through. So the reason I feel like I am possibly uniquely qualified to talk on this, I was in the Navy for just shy of 9 years, and I've been on multiple deployments for anywhere from a couple weeks to 9 months, where I was separated from my friends and my family and the communities that I was tied into. So these are some of the tools and tricks that I have learned throughout the time in the Navy and since then that have helped with my resiliency and being able to kind of get through this period of quarantine or stay home, stay safe, self-isolation, just to get through. So the first tool that I am going to bring up is something that you probably heard about a lot of, and that is self-care. It's a buzzword that's going out, that's been put out quite a lot, and here's what that is for me. It is doing at least one thing every day for yourself to make you feel good. For me today, it is my yarn crown. Last night I posted a picture on Instagram, that's why I have this, for a hashtag Skein Crown challenge. And when I came into work this morning, into my office, my Skein Crown was still on my desk, and I said, yes, I am going to wear this today because I feel wonderful in it. It might look a little ridiculous, but I like it. It feels pretty. I feel like a pretty yarn princess. So this is my self-care for the day. I did have some really bright lipstick on earlier, but conference calls and too many cups of coffee have since made it go away, so I just wiped the rest of it off because it just didn't look good. So do something as early in the morning as possible for yourself to make yourself feel better and to set yourself up for the day. To kind of segue into that, the next item that I have in my resiliency or survival toolkit for quarantine is to create a schedule for yourself. So I have a weekday schedule and I have a weekend schedule. They both start ridiculously early in the morning because I have dogs that don't understand that it's quarantine. And all they know is that it's 5:30 in the morning and we got to go out and we got to go out now and you have to take us. So my schedule, no matter what day of the week it is, it starts pretty stupid early in the morning. But on weekends, I have a different schedule than I do on weekdays. I'm a little bit more loungy on weekends. I'm able to binge watch Sopranos because that's what I'm going through and watching right now, or Homicide Hunter because Lieutenant Joe Kenda is awesome. And then on the weekdays, I, get up at the normal time. I'll let the dogs out. I have my routine of I take a shower, I put on actual clothes, which, by the way, that is going to be tip number 3 is putting on actual clothes. And then I, go through and I have my tea and I have my breakfast, and then I go into my office, and then I'm set up for the day. I have made sure that I have set myself up for success that day. So, tool one, do something for yourself that makes you feel better early in the morning. Uh, and I say early in the morning to help you get set up for the day. Tip number two, create a schedule for yourself. And that will come in play a little bit further down my tools. Tip number three, get dressed. Not just, crawl out of your nighttime pajamas into your daytime pajamas, and then at 9 o'clock crawl back into your nighttime pajamas. I mean, put on actual pants. I'm wearing jeans when I'm at home at work. I make sure to put on actual pants because then I feel like an actual human. Yeah, I could get away with wearing leggings or pajama pants or sweatpants all day, but I find that I feel much more lazy. I'm not as productive, especially in the afternoon when I start really questioning all my life choices. Like, why am I still in these pants? Why have I had 3 cups of hot cocoa? How come I can't stop eating these Lucky Charms? Put on actual pants. And then you won't have to question any of those things. It'll just be, no, this is life. This is how it is. Also, Lucky Charms are delicious, and so is hot cocoa. Tool number 4, keep a calendar nearby. That will help with your schedule that you have. It'll help remind you what day of the week it is, because I've seen an awful lot of memes floating around saying, just in case anybody was wondering, today is Monday, or just in case you're curious, today is the 6th, or it's reminding you what day of the week it is. Because much like a deployment, times like this, it's like there are no, if you're not keeping track of what day of the week it is or what date it is, there are no dates. There are no days of the week. They're all just days that kind of string together and you can't tell one from the other one. It's like a horrible reboot of Groundhog Day. So have a calendar nearby so that way you can actually see what day it is, and you can get yourself in the mindset of, oh, this is a weekday, or oh, this is a weekend, because I can guarantee when we go back to normal, whatever the heck that's going to look like when all of this is done, you're going to be thankful that you were able to kind of maintain that little bit of your normalcy, because when you go back to normal, go back to the real world, when you're able to, like, when going out in public is fashionable again, you'll be able to adjust a lot easier. So yeah, do something good for yourself, create a schedule, behold the power of pants, and keep a calendar nearby. So those are 4 things to start off with. The next ones that I'm going to go over are less, schedule and maintaining your normalcy as much as maintaining your sanity and helping you with your resiliency in this pandemic that we're going through. Find your online community. I know for me right now, I am normally in like a Tuesday night knit group that we meet at a local Panera. I have a Thursday night knit group that we meet at a local yarn shop in the downtown area. Once a month I have a spinning group, my spinning guild, that I meet up with. And like I'll have, girls' night out with my sister, or I'll have friends over for a fiber fun day where we all just sit around the table and we either play with looms or spinning wheels or learn a new crochet technique or new knitting technique or dye yarn. And right now, you can't do that. You can't. Face-to-face meetings are just not happening. So you kind of have to find a way to circumnavigate that, to maintain social distancing while not being socially distant. So how do you do that? You find a social media platform that works best for you, and you find a community on that platform to link into. Um, some of the ones that I am a part of, just to give some examples, on Facebook, I have Knit and Chat um, Facebook group. There is a Knitting Uncensored Facebook group, which is just delightful and a little bit crude, but I love it. There is a Yarn from the Spinning Wheel group. Another good community to use is Reddit. Um, there's a lot of great groups on Reddit, a lot of great subreddits. There's the Yarn subreddit, there is the Yarn Addict subreddit. My personal favorite is the Drunk Knitting subreddit. That is also delightful and a source of laughs and inspiration. Um, there's a knitting subreddit, crochet, weaving, loom weaving, spinning. There is a subreddit for everything. I guarantee it. If you're thinking of a group, it's out there. Just log into Reddit, search, find a group, join in, get that sense of community, and you'll meet new people. You'll learn new techniques and things that you never quite thought of before. It's magic. It's magic on the internet. Some of the other platforms that I use to kind of keep in contact with my community, and the people who use my patterns and whatnot, are Ravelry. Ravelry is a big one. The groups and the forums on Ravelry, they're not my favorite, but you can get a lot of inspiration through them, and you can meet a lot of great new people through Ravelry. Instagram. There is a lot of really talented, knit designers and indie dyers and crochet designers and weavers, and just a great community of people if you know what you're looking for. There's Imager. I love Imager. Imager is, I wouldn't necessarily say it's less of a community, it's more of like a mind distraction to just go through all the things that people post. So Imager is another one. Technically Twitter, but quite honestly, I kind of hate Twitter. I love it. I'll go on it every once in a while, but I can't stay on it for very long because there's just way too much political stuff. So I just Twitter. Another source of community would be different gaming platforms. If you are into board games or role-playing games, things like there's d20.com for D&D or Pathfinder or any tabletop games like that require multiple dice and creating characters and all that good stuff. So D20 is a great one. Steam is a great community. I know that my husband and I both pop on Steam to play games with each other or to play games with other people in the Steam community. So there's that. Then of course, you have your Xbox One, your PS4s, gaming platforms that you can hop on and play MMRPs. So that's something you can do. And got just a couple more tools to add to your toolkit. The next one would be tied into finding your community, and it's leveraging video conferencing platforms like Zoom or FaceTime or whatever the Google Hangouts is now. Google Meeting? I don't know. Microsoft Teams is another one that corporations will use, and granted, that's for your work, but still, it's seeing people face to face, but not really seeing them face to face. And like I'll use the Zoom community, I'll use the Zoom app for as a replacement for my knit nights. So I host a Tipsy Tuesday Zoom meetup, and that's for anybody who wants to join. And it's a craft night, so it doesn't have to be knitting. You can have knitting. We've had needle felting, we've had spinning, we've had groups of people that have been cutting and making cloth masks, and we're all just there together in the evening. Sometimes you have a glass of wine, sometimes you don't, but it's like a virtual knit night. It's wonderful. Same thing with my spinning group, virtual spin nights, virtual happy hours. You don't have to have a craft to hop on Zoom, see your friends instead of going to the bar to meet up with them. You just meet in on your computer, have a glass of wine, share some laughs. The drive home is short because you're already there, so you don't have to worry about DUIs. It's kind of a beautiful thing. It's kind of a beautiful thing. Yeah. And the next tool that I have to offer to you would be surround yourself with the things that bring you inspiration and joy. For me, that is yarn things and spinning things. So I have behind me 4 of my 7 wheels. These guys are the ones that I use the most often. And even though I'm not spinning a whole lot right now, and I'm not crafting a whole lot right now, because I just kind of feel like I've lost my mojo, it's nice having them around, just seeing them, just knowing that they're there waiting for me for when I'm ready to, pick up some fluffy stuff and spin it into yarn, or pick up some needles and work on the socks that I'm making, or the cardigan that I'm making. Just having the yarn around to do something ridiculous, like make a skein crown. And every once in a while, even if I'm not really up to the task, I'll pick something up and I will kind of force myself to work on a project, or work on one of my works in progress, even if just for a couple stitches or for a couple rows, because I feel like even though I'm forcing myself to do it, it's giving me some forward movement, and forward movement is better than no movement at all. That's how I'm looking at it. So the tools that I have to offer you, just as a bit of a recap, is self-care. Do something for yourself. Start the day off right. Whether it's making your favorite tea, making your favorite breakfast, putting on your favorite yarn like a crown, do something for yourself. Create a schedule for yourself and try to stick to it. You're not always going to stick to it, but try. So create a schedule for yourself, and it'll help you keep track of the days, and it will also help you when we are able to go outside in public again. Get dressed. Behold the power of pants. Pants. Put on actual clothes. Get out of pajamas. Get out of pajamas. On the weekdays, on the weekends, no judgment. Day drink the day away in sweatpants or leggings and yarn. But during the weekday, put on pants. Even if you're not going to go outside, put on pants. Pants. Keep a calendar nearby. It will help with your schedule, and it'll also help keep track of the days, so that way you know what day of the week it is, and it's not all just one giant episode or remake of Groundhog Day. It'll help you keep up with what's going on in the world. Find your online community. Important. Find your online community. You'll meet new people. You'll learn new things. You'll get inspired. You'll find inspiration, hopefully. You might find some assholes. It happens. But hopefully you find more inspiration than you find assholes. So One can hope. So yeah, and like I said, Facebook groups, Reddits, subreddits, Instagram, Imager, Twitter if you have to, and the different gaming platforms. It's just another way to interact with humanity without interacting with humanity in a way that won't spread the virus, flatten the curve. Stay the fuck at home. The conferencing apps, Zoom, FaceTime, whatever the Google Hangouts thing is now, leverage those tools that are free and accessible to you to create events where you can see your friends face to face without actually being face to face. It's amazing what that can do for you and for your resiliency. So yeah, and then surround yourself with the things that bring you joy and happiness and inspire you to do stuff. Whether it's having a loom nearby or having a crochet project nearby, or for me, it's having my spinning wheels around me and very pretty and sparkly yarn that is going to eventually someday be a pair of socks. I have the needle sitting right next to them, so we'll see what happens. And try to work on the items that you currently have in progress. Just pick it up, even if it's only working on it, a little bit, 5-10 minutes at a time, or 2 or 3 stitches, or maybe a couple of rows, just to get that little feeling of accomplishment for yourself. It will do wonders for you. So with that being said, I guess I'm just gonna talk a little bit about what I'm wearing, who I'm wearing. So, because I love this yarn. So over here we have Machete Shop, and the colorway is Dang Girl. Love it. So got that. Over here is Dune Grass by Why Not Fibers. It is part of her Stardust yarn collection. You can't see it from where you're at, but it has a lovely little sparkle to it because sometimes you just need some sparkle in your life. And then in the back here is the colorway is Mars by AJHC Wools, and this is her lovely sock yarn. It's all fingering weight. And then what I am wearing is hand spun fractal. I did a fractal spin of an arsenic and old lace colorway by Yarn Geek Fibers. And the pattern that I knitted into is called Midnight in Paris by Nim Teasdale out on Ravelry. And it is a great pattern. It is easy to memorize. And yeah, it knits up wonderfully, and it looks, this fractal spin actually turned out a lot better than I was anticipating. So with that, as I said, I am Erin White with The Knittervention. Feel free to click like and subscribe, and follow me on Twitter, Instagram, or Facebook at The Knittervention. And I will see you next time. Have a great day.